Um, I appreciate y'all tuning in. And I just wanted to say I saw, where'd it go? Right here, Australian Bug Detection Group. I guess his name is Alan. He had left a comment on one of the videos or one of the streams earlier, wanting to know about my enclosure. And I'm going to go ahead and show you that real fast, Alan, because it won't take long. It's not very fancy, although there have been some revision changes since the last video. I changed some things up, and let me just well, first, but let me don't leave him hanging back here. I got my buddy Ryan helping me with the watching the chat and co-hosting tonight. So thank you, Ryan.
No problem, buddy.
I think I think we're both unmuted there. Okay. So let me. I'm going to blow myself up here like this, and just go through this enclosure real quick, and then we'll get started on some other stuff. Alan, when I originally built this, and again, this is really nothing fancy at all. It's cheap sheathing grade plywood. I just slapped a bunch of white paint on it. I mainly painted the inside so that I would get the reflection of the light and get it lit up real well. I bought some 24 by 24, I guess it's called Lexan, off of Amazon. And then I used my big CNC over there to do the window cutout. So I've got that in there. But originally, the width of this is 84 inches long, big enough that it'll accommodate my NBX 5040 on this side and an NBS 6040 on this side. But originally, I had it 84 inches long, and I had these panels were 42 inches. So they was just two big long panels, and they just lift off like this. If I show, let's see if I can get, maybe you can see that. I 3D printed some little clips to screw that will catch this. This is all just some 2020 extrusion that I put together to make up the frame. And this plywood here, it's just sitting on there. It's not fastened at all. It's in fact, I've got some lead type weights in here to try to keep the corners that are bowing up held down. So originally, like I said, it was just two pieces, but then NEMA Labs came out with this awesome new offline controller that's much different than their little bitty controller, which is this one. And you know, I had made a little thing with my laser where I could set this on here, had it angled, worked fine. But then when they came out with this one, I had to go back to the drawing board and come up with something different. And I came up with another little laser cut thing. Let's see, actually, it's right here. I had this mounted on that big panel, and it just kind of sat there. Well, every time I had it set in here, you notice these wires come out to the right side. Well, when I'd go to pull this panel off, if I wasn't paying attention, and I wasn't 2 times, I would bump that wire, and this thing would just come tumbling off and hit concrete twice. But it just goes to show you how tough these things are, because
Durability testing.
yeah, we'll call it that anyway. But it's still working fine. But so what I decided I wanted to do, and I'm going to be getting another one of these for that machine too. This one runs the 6040. But what I did is I went back, I cut 2 new pieces that are 8 inches wide. This is 30 inches tall here. So I've got one here, and I've got another one here. And then I had some leftover 2020 extrusion. So I just took the one that was here in the middle, screwed it over right here where this seam is, put this one here, and then these are fastened I won't say permanent, but they're fastened where they're not going to come off without having to unscrew them from the back. So I've got that one and that one. So my other 7-inch screen will go right over here once it gets here. So then I had to cut down these doors, so they're still basically the same thing. I just trimmed, I forget how much, I think I trimmed about 2¼ inches off of here and ended up trimming about 3/4 of an inch, I think, off of this end. And then this one ended up being quite a bit smaller. I still have to be careful around these wires. I have to try to slide it down, but I can get it out easily without those wires. But this one is, instead of 42 inches, now it's 29 inches, so that you got 3 inches on each side here. But
Yeah, and that's plenty for the width of that machine.
what's that, Ryan?
I said that's plenty for that width of the machine too. I mean, it's not like you're having to squeeze, material in there. It's still wider than what the machine bed is. So
Yeah, and all of these panels, well, except for this little 8-inch spot and this little 8-inch spot, everywhere else they're all fastened the same way, where they're just using these 3D printed clips. So the sides, the back, everything can come off. So I can get to anything. I just needed something a little more solid to use these. And what I'm doing with these, I'll show you with this one. I 3D printed this, and you can see it's got a dovetail and then a stop. So this gets mounted right here. And then the other piece is the other part of the dovetail. And it just, these 3 holes line up with the 3 holes that come on the back of the little offline controller. I just removed the little swivel bracket that they had on there. And so I fasten this, and then this just slides right on like that with that dovetail. So again, I can come up here. Like I said, this is on here good and solid, but you can get it off. And then I put the hole up above so it would try to hide it. Now let's see if I can get this thing back on there. It's pretty tight.
Alan from the Australian Bug Detection Group is asking how the noise suppression is with this enclosure.
Well, if you stick around, you are going to find out, because we're going to run some stuff tonight. I'm going to be running it on the 5040 here, this one, and we'll go ahead and get started talking about what I'm going to be showing tonight. We've got Halloween coming up in about a month and a half or so, and I am probably the only CNC person on the planet that has not made those jack-o'-lantern things.
Nope, I haven't yet either.
Okay, well, I'm the second to the last one.
I will be the last.
But I'm going to show you. This is one I've already done. Let me get big again here. This is one I've already done. Now, I have not attached any bottom. This is just a piece, but I thought, and I haven't drawn up any plans. This is super simple. I thought I would just explain how I'm making these, and y'all can put your own twist on it or whatever you want to do. But I did find these really cool. In fact, they just came in, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours ago from Amazon. But I got these little amber looking battery operated tea lights. They come with the battery already installed. And I went for the, I guess you'd call that an amber color or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that would maybe look better than the white, but I probably should have bought a pack of each. But anyway, I got some of those. So anyway, like I said, this is not even setting on the bottom. I may try to come up with some kind of a base. May pocket a little round hole to set the tea light in or something like that. But I've got some over here in various stages of assembly. But let me first say, you can buy a cedar fence picket from, well, I bought mine from my local Lowe's home improvement store. They come 5.5 inches by 6 foot. Of course, there's dog ears on one end. But I set the stop up on my miter saw for 8 inches and just go down and cut 8-inch pieces. And you'll get 8 of those. And then the last piece with the dog ears will be a little shy. And this is it. You can see it's a little shorter, and I've already cut the dog ears off. But this is what I use for the top on that one. You could use it for the bottom. I mean, doesn't really matter how you do these things. Another one I've got over here in not fully assembled. I do have the sides glued on. So what I do is I take all these 8-inch pieces and I think, well, I'm going to use one for the back like this. One obviously for the front. We'll go like that. And the one here, these 2 pieces, what I do is I take my table saw and I set it for 2.5 inches. And since this is 5.5 inches, you could try to split the difference, but every time I've ever done that, I always get one that's just a hair wider than the other. So I set it for 2.5, cut one, then take the other piece, run it through. That way I know I've got them both the same width here. So like I said, I'm not going to try to create any plans or anything. These are super easy. You can do them with really minimal tools, and even the things with the faces, which is what I'm going to show tonight. You could do these with a CNC. You could do them with a laser,
Scroll saw,
a scroll saw. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways. Now, one
beaver.
thing about using a CNC is I'm using a down cut 1/8 inch router bit. Well, a 1/8 inch router bit means that it's going to have a 1/16. So you won't get wherever it might have a sharp point, you're going to have a 1/16 radius. But when you set these on your porch with a light in them at night or something, nobody's going to notice whether it's got that little radius or not. So you can really knock these out pretty fast with the CNC. Now let me talk about where I got my faces. I was going to draw some, and then I'm thinking, man, I know these things are all over Etsy and stuff like that. So let me just go look and see what I can find. Well, I found an Etsy store right here. This person's Citra Graphics on Etsy, and I have a link to their Etsy store in the description. I think the person's name is Ari, A-R-I, I think is what it was. But they're running a sale on the package that I bought, and it was a bundle of 35 different faces, and I think the regular price was like $3 and something. But they're running them on sale for 99 cents.
Oh, geez.
So I was 8 cents tax, so I paid a whopping $1.07.
Yeah, I'm going to be buying that tonight.
For 35 faces. So I don't know if you noticed the 2 that I've cut so far. I don't even remember what. I think one of them's one's that I got glued up. I think that's number 1, and then the other one I think was number 16. But we're going to be cutting some of those, and when I do, Alan, you'll be able to see about the noise thing. There's not really any insulation or anything in it. I didn't build it to try to help with the noise. I built it so that I could do these live streams and videos run the machine without any dust collection so people can see what the thing's doing, but not have stuff scattered all over my shop. So when you keep these doors closed and stuff and run it, it gets done, you pull that panel off and it's just vacuum, takes about 30 seconds to vacuum stuff up, and it just holds it all right around there. So that part works out really good. Now you'll have to determine when you hear it run how uh, how loud it might be. But let me get back off of here like this, get my buddy back in here, and I'm going to share my screen, I think, right here. Now this Etsy package that I bought, it came in. Let me think. It came with Adobe Illustrator stuff. All the file. If you use that, it came with SVGs, which is what I like to use, and then it came with something else. Seems like there was 3 different.
DXF maybe.
Yeah, it might have been. I can't remember if that was the 3rd one or not. But anyway, you got a big choice of what to use. But I use the SVGs. Let me just make this big. This is my. Let's see. Let me turn that off just for. I'll leave it on, I guess. What I did is when you import an SVG, and I didn't know this because I hadn't done this many before, but when you import an SVG, it automatically puts. First of all, I tried to highlight all of them, just bring them all in. You had to do them one at a time. But what it does is it puts them all on a separate layer. So, which kind of makes it easy, because then when you do your tool path, you just turn one on, run it, and you can see over here on the side when I did the tool pass, just so I can see, there's face 1, there's face 10, there's 23. You get the idea. It's easy to look and see which one it is. But let me just, I think this one, I think this is the one that I had on this other one over here.
Yeah, that's the one.
But
so looking at your tool paths, you're doing pocketing tool paths for those?
Yes, I am. Now, if you wanted to speed this up, me, I don't do production of anything, so I don't care about how long it takes. But even if we go check this one, let's see which one. Oh, I got them all. Which one did I say that was? 16. Okay, that's a fairly long one. It says 847. A lot of these, 754. There's another one, 8 something. Okay, yeah. So they're all less than 10 minutes anyway. So, like let me just highlight all of them, and we'll do the time. There you can see the longest one looks like it's 9 minutes and something. There's some, I thought I saw one that's 6 minutes and something. Yeah, 6:35. So I just like to go ahead and use a pocket. And like I said, I'm not worried about time. If you wanted to, you could do a profile path there. But of course, when you do that, you always have to worry about either you have to put a tab on it so it doesn't sling it out like a hockey puck, or you have to just don't put any tabs on it and hope it don't come flying out of there like a hockey puck. And let me tell you, I've had them come out of there like a hockey puck, and they hurt when they hit you. So now, with the enclosure, they wouldn't hurt anything. But like I said, I just like to go ahead and use the pocket tool path and just get them all cut out.
Well, it makes sense to me. Like after you talking about it, because then you're even if you have the tabs or whatever, you're having to take time then to cut the tabs off and sand
Yeah,
down
and the
the
way
tabs or
some of these
whatever. But
things are
this way,
shaped, it'd be hard to put a tab in a place that's easy to sand.
yeah,
Um, Even if I was going to do it because I'm using a down cut bit and it packs in the chips, I wouldn't use a tab. I'd just keep my fingers crossed that it didn't come
yeah,
slinging out of there. But the problem is if even if it doesn't come flying out and it just pops up enough, then you got to worry about the bit hitting it
yeah,
as
yeah.
it's coming across. So I just, like I said, I'm not in a hurry doing these, and they don't take that long anyway. So I like to just use the pocket tool path and just be done with it.
That makes sense.
So that's the name of that tune. Okay, let me. I've still got this set up over here, but I have turned the controller off. So let me get it on, and I'm going to open up. I'm going to run this one with so y'all can see what I'm doing with it. Because if I share this screen, I'm going to go ahead and use G Sender, and I've got a cable running from this computer over to the control box. But you'll be able to see what it does with the G Sender.
For everybody watching, this is Dave's 5040 machine. So he's got the 5040 and a 6040. So this is the one that has a 600 by 400.
There's the 6040.
5040. So 600 millimeters by 40 millimeters. I mean, centimeters. Blah.
Yeah.
I can't talk.
Okay, so we've got G Sender open, and you can see that. So let me open this up, and I'm gonna go ahead and load a file. I don't know which one I want. I guess it don't matter because there's 35 of them. So I know I've ran 16 and 1. So we'll just heck, we'll just start with 2. See what it looks like.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Oops. There we go. All right, it's going to be kind of goofy. All right, and here's what I'm talking about. When you've got these pointed things here, those will have a 1/16 radius. But, let me verify the job and check the G code. I might have to turn that fan on just for a sec, too. It's getting toasty out here. Let's get a little breeze going. Okay, and I think this thing is probably okay, but since I had the controller turned off, I'm going to go ahead and home it. We'll go through the steps of homing it and resetting the Z and all that. I did, like I mentioned the other week, I did write down the work coordinates. And if you look at the screen there, you see I've got 3 clamps holding just a scrap piece of metal. And then I cut an L shape out of it. And then I had the 0 work coordinate set in the center of this piece. Now, if I come over here to, let's see, where am I at?
So was that as close to that clamp as it looked on the screen when it was homing? That bit looked awfully close.
It's well, it goes all, the Z goes up first, and it's well above
Oh, okay.
all of those clamps.
Yeah, when it
Okay.
started moving the X, it was like going right by that clamp, and I was like, "Oh, that looks really close."
That's just for dramatic effect right there. Okay, so if I look up here, I see that I'm at minus 284.22, minus 217.79, and I know that's the numbers I had wrote down as my Z. So the G54 does work quite well with G Sender. Another reason why it's one of my favorites. So I'm going to go and click this Go XY0. Well, I was a little late. It was already stopped by the time I got it over there. Okay, so now we'll bring this one up, and it is in the center, but I want to reset the Z just to make sure that it is correct. It's probably okay too, but what the heck. But anyway, what I did is I clamped down this little scrap piece, and then I cut this L shape out of it. And the only reason I did that, it's not like I'm going to sit here and run a whole bunch of these, but it just makes it easy to get this located in the exact same spot every time. Uh, it's right here in the center of the material. And then when I go to take this one out, I only take these three out and don't loosen the little jig. So let's get our, let's see, we'll do it over here on this side. I'm going to take the pendant and move this over. And get it down kind of close. Okay. Now, I always test it as soon as I connect it, and it looks like it's good. Now come over here and hit the probe, which is right down here. And okay, yeah, I've got the no touch turned off. I think you can have it, because I'm in the habit of always touching it to make sure it's working before I ever walk away to hit the probe button. I think by default, G-Sender has where when you click probe, when you hit the button the first time, it tells you to go do that. Well, I've already done it, but there is a way to turn that off. So I've got it set to no touch. So I'm just going to hit start probe. Oops. And it should be, you come down and touch and then go back up and come down slower. You touch again. And Bob's your uncle. So we'll move this out of the way. And I think we're probably high enough to, now let me bump it up just a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to hit back, go X0, Y0. Okay.
Dave Allen is asking if you can explain why you're probing on the wasteboard and not the workpiece.
Sure. These, let me do this. Again, I'm using just these cedar fence pickets. They're rough. Some people I've seen on YouTube, some people will buy these and then spend time with an orbital sander getting them smooth and all. I kind of like the rough look, so I didn't mess with it. Also, if you look, if I can hold it here, they're always cupped.
Yeah, they're not really flat.
Yeah, so if you put it this way, you can put your clamps and try to pull the corners down flat. Or if you do it this way, now you got a hump in the middle. So what I like to do is I like to zero off the machine bed, because when you cut these up, well, that one is almost dead nuts. I put in the program that these are 0.6. They say they're 5/8, but they're about 0.6.
Yeah,
so I put that.
Yeah, they vary all over the place. I mean,
This one
can be a half inch.
just depending on where you measure it.
Yeah,
it might be a little over, might be a little under, whatever. But what I do is I just say 0.6, and then I tell it to do the machine bed 0. That way, when it gets all the way to 0, it should be just barely on top of that machine bed, assuming I've put the thickness for my touch probe accurately. which I think it is. I think it's pretty good because I've already run a couple of these and it came out good. So that's why I do it. I mean, you could do it the other way, but you may have some where it cuts all the way through, uh, and then you may have others where you got a little what do you call it, a sheepskin or whatever on the bottom or something. So I just like to tell it, do the machine bed. That way I know when it goes to zero, that's as low as it's going to get. It's not going to go any more. So, all righty. So we are good to go. Now, notice it went up a little when I can bring it down. Well, it don't matter. It's going to come down when it starts the program. All right. So we got the program going. And we are ready to start. So let me get over here where I can. Oh, let me put the door back on, or we'd have had a. Okay, Alan. Now you'll be able to see how loud that is. And here we go. Like I said, the enclosure wasn't built to be a soundproof enclosure. It's mostly to just contain the dust, and it's not really that loud. I can easily talk over it and have a conversation if somebody was standing right here with me.
She's humming along.
And if anybody's wondering, I have this set to, like I said, it's a 1/8 inch downcut bit. It's got a 1/4 inch shank, but it's just the 1/8 inch downcut bit. And I have it cutting at, the feed rate is 150 inches per minute. And it's cutting, well, it's set to cut 1/8. I think because of the thickness, it goes down about 3 millimeter or 0.118 per pass. Probably could go deeper if I wanted, because it handles that without any problem in that cedar. But
Scott Jepson's asking what kind of computer you use.
okay, now this is where I have problems here. When you say something, because I don't have my speakers turned up.
Yeah. Scott Jepson's asking what brand of computer that you use.
What brand of computer? It is a Acer. I guess I can. Well, I don't know if I want to try that while it's. I mean, I'm sure it could, but it's. I think it's got 24 meg of RAM, and I mainly bought this computer because I do these live streams. So, but it can easily handle the live stream, which uses a lot of stuff with all these cameras and stuff. But it can still run these machines as well.
Anybody else catch out that little piece that it flung out? It flung out a little piece at you.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see it did.
Yeah.
It looks like that one's making 2 nostril holes. It looks like a pig nose or something. Yeah, like I said, if anybody wants to get the bundle to do these 35 different Halloween lantern faces, I'm not affiliated with that Etsy store in any way. I just thought I would provide the link because it's a good deal.
Yeah, well, at $1, I mean they're not making any money after the fees and all that for
Yeah.
Etsy.
Well,
They're probably actually having to pay money.
I guess they're hoping that while you're there on their store, something else will catch your eye and
Yeah.
you'll spend more money. But like I said, when I went to get the link today, it said that they were on sale for 99 cents through October 5th. So I thought, well, I'll make sure I mention it.
Yeah. I'll be going right after the
You
show.
go over there and buy. I don't know if there's a place to tell them, but tell them Dave sent you. They won't know who I am, but at least maybe they'll figure out that somebody sent them over there.
The Cross-Space Craftsman says, I get most of my files from Etsy. Lots of great files for literally nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, well, like I said, I wasn't planning on, I certainly wasn't planning on running 35 different ones. But
hey, if they're there, they're there.
I thought, if I'm only going to do maybe 5 or 6, I'll just draw them myself. But then I thought, well, let me go look first. And I saw how ridiculously cheap they are. I'm like, nah, ain't no sense in drawing them. Like I said, with tax and everything, I paid $1.07 for those 35 faces.
You couldn't even draw one and make that amount up in time.
Yeah.
I mean, and Dave, is that that's a downtown Jenny that you're using?
It is not. It is a old white side.
Oh.
I have a couple of white sides that are the 1/8 inch down cut with the 1/4 inch shank. And as soon as if I can ever wear them out, I'll get the downtown Jenny ones. Now I think over in the 60/40, I think that's what I've got chucked up right now is a 1/4 inch downtown Jenny. I use those a lot. I have 2 or 3 of those. I really like the what is it? The 60-degree groovy Jenny or whatever they call it. I really like that bit. In fact, just inside here, you can't see it because it's behind that panel there. But I have a little laser cut box, and I've got just the bits that I like to use, which most of them are the Cadence manufacturing bits. So, okay, now see, this is one of my favorite parts. You can see when I take this door down, all the stuff stays right here. Doesn't really. I originally thought about putting a divider between the two.
Yeah.
But after running a little bit, I'm thinking, there's really not any need because it doesn't. And the same way with the other night when I was running that one, it didn't really fling it over here. So you can see it's all right here. I'm going to wait and clean this up. We'll go ahead and run another one. Yeah, it did try to fling this little piece at me. But here's what I'm talking about, and I think you'll be able to see it better once I remove this. See how I just cut, this was a scrap piece, and I just told it to cut a rectangle so it, of course I had it overlapped, so it just made this L shape. And then I put a little hole right here in the corner so you can get the sharp point in there.
Yeah, yeah.
But then, if you're going to run a bunch of something, now, of course, once I take this off, then it's not any good anymore. But I just keep it clamped down for, okay, if you look close, I was going to show, even doing the, see if I hold this up. There you go. See the nose? It didn't quite. Oh, I guess it just packed stuff in there. I was thinking it didn't cut all the way through, but And there's a knot right there too where one of those is. So that's kind of a weird looking. I didn't really notice it. It almost looks like a pig nose. It's got the two nostrils. And you can see when by using that, this is the back side. I usually take the orbital sander because since I'm using that downcut bit, it's shoving all the stuff down. So you get a few fuzzies on the back side, but I just hit it with the orbital sander and that one will be good. So, all right, ask Alan if he's out there what he thought of the sound um, of this thing.
Yeah, on video, you really can't hear it. It's I know for you there in the shop, you're hearing it, but here on the stream, you really can't hear it. I mean, you can kind of hear it hitting the wood a little bit, but not much at all. Yeah, Alan says it's pretty quiet and impressive. So,
okay, so this is
the Cross-Space Craftsman's asking why you're not using a dust shoe.
well, I don't like to use dust shoes because most of the time when I'm running a machine, I'm either shooting a video or I'm doing a live stream like this. And people tend to kind of like, well, I guess they do. I do. I don't like to just watch a dust shoe move around. I want to see what it's doing.
Yeah.
So I always run everything with that. But that you will notice that that's why I always put this back on. Because I do not want that stuff flying around everywhere. All right, we'll run another one real quick and then we'll maybe take some questions or if anybody's got them. That took 6 minutes and 45 seconds, so that one wasn't too bad. Let's load another one over here. I don't even remember which one that one was. Phase 2. Okay. Let's see what phase 3 looks like. Yeah, that's kind of. Is that one much like the other ones? Let's go get a different one. Let's go way down on the other end. Let's try 35. See what
we need a happy one.
The what?
A happy one. There you go.
That one?
I don't know. I can't really see it.
I don't know how good. See, this one looks like he's got some eyebrows. So.
Oh yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how good that does. And what the heck? No guts, no glory, right?
Here you go.
I don't know what. Let's see. Is there? Did they say the time on here? No, I don't. I think they tell you the time. Oh, wait a minute. That says 4 minutes and 6 seconds. I don't know if that's going to be that fast or not. All right, let's hit another one and then we'll take some questions or something after that. Oh, and I also need to tell you all about a giveaway. I forgot to mention that. So y'all stick around for a giveaway. I'm going to be testing that out. And I'm assuming it's going to work. And if it does, I'll be giving something away. We'll learn about that here in a minute. It looks to me like the Lex stand is starting to get a little dusty because it seems like it's harder for that camera to get a good shot. Yeah, I don't think it'd matter much what I use. It's going to get dusty. Um, what I do is I take that panel off and, well, you can't see it, but I've got these uh, little brushes, or not paint brushes, but what do you call them? Chip brushes. That's what I'm trying to think of. And I usually take them right out there in the driveway and just kind of hit it like that with that thing, and it does a halfway decent job. But it doesn't take long when it's slinging stuff around to get it dusty. Well, that's true. But then we'd all be sitting here going, "Yeah, look at the dust you go around." Yeah. I actually thought about cutting a hole right in the center and having some hoses, short pieces of hose, and thought about doing it. But then I thought, nah, I'm not even gonna bother doing that because I got a shop vac right there. It only takes a minute to dust it, vacuum it up when it gets done. And I just, to me, I know when I'm watching, even if it's an Instagram reel or something, I'm always yelling at my phone, going, "Man, take your damn dust shoe off. You can't see nothing." Nobody wants to watch a dust shoe move around. At least I don't. Now this one's been running about 5.5 minutes. And it says it's 74% done. So it says it's got a minute to go according to that. I don't know how accurate that is. Okay, that's doing the eyebrows, and it's got one more eye hole to do. Excuse me. Yeah, that's a good idea. When I got ready to cut those up today, I was just thinking the simplest cut possible. That would be to set up a stop block on my miter saw at 8 inches, cut everything at 8 inches, and then, like I said, I don't have the bottom on this one, but just cut them at 8 inches, and then take the side pieces, go to the table saw, set it up for 2.5, or it doesn't really matter what you set it as long as you're making them both the same. And like I said, this was just the scrap piece that had the little dog ears that I cut off. I just used that for the top. And you could do it a bunch of different ways. You could leave a gap like what you're talking, or in this case, you could leave the bottom completely off and just set it down. Set a tea light down, set it over it. Uh, yeah, that's why I wasn't going to try. There's a million different ways to do these, and I just picked what I thought was a simple way. And I thought I'm not going to make plans. People can, they're just too easy. You can do it however you want. So, all right, that one took 7:43. And again, for those that may have just tuned in and go, why is he pocketing the whole thing? Because I can. I just don't like doing it the other way. I like to just, yeah, 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 yeah. So has anybody got any questions about anything like how I did it in VCar Pro, or I mean, it's really pretty simple, really simple. And by having all 35 of those uh, in the same VCar Pro thing, it I would have thought the double. Yeah, I I I mean, there's rare occasions if I'm doing something thin and you really need it to be held down. The CA glue and the painter's tape is probably the best way for thin stuff. But anything else, I'm just old school. I like using clamps. In fact, in one of these episodes of this live stream, I may do what I've done in the past for the bigger machines is you know have some programs to make the clamps. I'll show you one. Ryan knows what they look like. But yeah, like when you got a piece of wood on there and you cut a bunch of stuff out, but you still got some room. I used to now these are probably too big for these machines, but you could scale this down and make these for these kind of machines. But I always had a program that ran one, and I had one that would run it this way and another one that would run it this way. So whenever I had a blank piece of plywood, hardwood, didn't matter what it was, if I had it and I'd finished running, but I had some room on there, but while it's still clamped down, I'd just jog it over to that spot, zero it out, and knock out a few clamps. I have a whole, I don't know if y'all can't see them. Hey, you kind of can. Behind this enclosure over there beside my Avid is a bunch of drawers, those little plastic drawer things, and one of them is slap full of these things. So can never have too many clamps. And the reason I make if I hold it where you can see how I put the little step on each end is because when you cut this one off, you just can turn it around and use that one. So, and I have some over here that are uh, pretty rough looking. They've been cut on and hit, all kinds of stuff. But the neat thing is they're wood, so you just go right on through it and don't. Yeah, yeah. Russ Meadows in the house. What does he mean there? I saw somewhere there was a set of 100. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, there's all kinds of folks on there that have different packages and all, but like I said, when I happened to go look, this was probably the first one of the first ones I saw as I scrolled down, and I saw it had 35, and then I thought, I think it said $3 or something. I'm like, okay, that's good to me. And then when I clicked on it, I realized it was on sale, and I got it for $1.07. for that. So Cosmin says, has anyone made a move from Fusion to V-Carve? I am pondering when my Fusion renewal comes up. I am mostly a wood lathe guy, wondering how easy it would be to move designs. Ryan, you're a Fusion type person, aren't you? Okay.
Well, if you're paying for Fusion, I would let it lapse and try, or well, to get most everybody's using V carves of some sort for CNC. Most people, some people have actually opened up the program and used it. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know who those people are.
Yeah.
There's some of us that have just bought it and look at it sitting as a icon on their desktop for the last 2 years and don't
Yeah.
open it. But anyway, but they
Well,
do. Since you're a wood lathe guy, you can. Well, if you had a rotary on your CNC, you could. They do have, you can do rotary stuff with V-carve too.
yeah. And I'll be demonstrating that in the next, I got something else planned for next week, but sometime in the very near future, I'm probably going to set the rotary. Yeah, I'll probably set it on this one because it fits on this one, and that way I'll leave the bigger machine open for other stuff. But I'll set up and do some different things with the rotary, at least with VCar Pro. I don't know how to. I don't use Fusion. Let me just, while we got this guy's comment up there, I'll give you just the Reader's Digest version of my history. Back in my younger days when I worked for the man, I worked at sheet metal job shops as a design engineer, programmer type dude. And I always used SolidWorks. And one time I was working for this company, and the other guy that was in the office with me, he was a long time AutoCAD user. So back then it was before Fusion. It was called AutoCAD Inventor. But I can tell you that being a long time SolidWorks user that I was, I hated when I got a file from a customer or something and I had to open it up in an Autodesk product. I don't like their products at all. So, and of course, I don't use SolidWorks anymore either. I use, because I'm doing just hobby stuff now, I use Design Spark Mechanical. I've got their $11.99 a month subscription plan for that.
Well, and as a hobbyist, you can use Fusion for free if you want to. The big difference is that you only have access to 10 projects at a time. Otherwise, you have to make any additional ones like read only. But you can switch them back and forth from using them and not using them. So that could be an option if you move to VCarve.
Doug says he uses both. They are a lot different, he says. Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing. I don't really, even the Design Spark Mechanical, I don't like having to pay $12 a month. But it used to be a free thing, and like everybody else, they changed it, and they still have a free trial type thing, but they took away some of the stuff that it did, and that's why I pay the $12 a month subscription, is just to get the things that they took away from me when they went from version 5 to version 6. But I use it for not so much for CNC stuff, because usually I'm not doing something where I need a 3D model, but I do use it all the time for creating 3D models and then converting them to STL and then putting them in my slicer for my super fast Ender 3s. But yeah. Ryan hadn't quite talked me into an A1 yet, but
Getting close.
I know. All right. Well, if I don't see any more questions, we've already been at it a little over an hour. We've got about, according to this thing, 18. Well, I just changed 19 people, so that's
Mhm.
good enough to run a test. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run a giveaway because if you've watched any of my live streams before, you probably know that I love to do live giveaways. And I used to use StreamYard. It had a good giveaway tool. And this is like my second stream with EV Mux, I think. Yeah, it's only my third stream. The first one I did was StreamYard. Then I swapped to EV Mux. So anyway, I've got a giveaway tool. I think it's set up. And what I'm going to be giving away, assuming it works, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed and assume it works, is I'm going to be giving away a set of ER11 collets. And when I say a set, it's a set of 3 1/4 inch ER11 collets, 3 1/8 inch ER11 collets, and then the seventh piece is the ER11 nut that goes on your little thing here. So, assuming this works, we're going to we'll give that away. And what I'll do is like I was telling Ryan earlier, I have it on in my cart on Amazon, so I'll just buy it at Amazon and then have it drop shipped to the winner. So let's try this. Let's see if it's going to work. I think we'll still be able to talk. All right, can you hear me? Let's do a quick sound check here. Can you hear me now? See, I can, because I did this in Pro Scenes, uh, I can do stuff like this. And let me add you, and we'll put you over here. Now let's see. Can everybody hear us now that we're into the scene? Somebody.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like they can hear us now.
Okay, so I guess we have to be in the scene. I took us both out, and even though the little microphone thing was moving, it looks like that doesn't work. So I'll know next time to add us in the scene like this. So all right, let's check this thing out and see if it's going Gonna work. Says we got.
You guys should hear the conversation that we were having while you couldn't hear us. It was riveting.
It was edge of the seat kind of stuff. Really.
Man, it changed my life.
Okay, so it says we got 9 participants here. So I'm thinking that I have to hit this little, yeah, it says start giveaway when I highlight that gift box. So here we go. First ever giveaway on the new streaming app, and we'll see who wins. Hopefully this will work. Well, that didn't do anything.
Nope, not seeing a thing.
Okay, when I highlight that, it says start giveaway. Okay, so I guess I guess I got to hit this start button. Let's try this
one. Still not seeing anything.
I see nothing. I see nothing. Okay, well, this is not.
We're figuring it out.
Well, there's a reset button and a start button right below where it says total participants 9, and then up here, I don't know if you can see it at the top. It says it's got a little gift box looking thing. In fact, when you highlight it, it pops out and says gift box, but it says start the giveaway. So apparently I'm not doing something right. It's filtered by that hashtag. It says got collets there. Type hashtag collets. Maybe there's got to be a hashtag in front of that one. We'll see. All right, let's try it again. No, now it don't like that. Okay, well, I guess that is not working. Okay, this is why we test things.
Yeah.
People.
Well, but unfortunately, you can't test this unless it's a live stream. So.
Yeah. So.
Cosman, write the names on a piece of paper and draw from a hat.
Okay, well, I could probably let me come over here and go to. I could probably find a comment picker. We'll use this one. Random comment picker for YouTube. We can do it. Let me move this over here and add this to the scene. So we're going to do this. Let's see. Select a random winner. All right. So.
Crossface is eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yeah, really.
KS. College for everyone.
Okay, here we go. Here's the YouTube video link. So is that the... let me see if I get the right link here for this. Shut up. Okay, so we'll copy that and put that over here. Okay, now we've got the right thing. Now see, we need to...
I see what you did there, Russ.
Filter duplicates. What the heck is that? Where's the... Where's the thing when I tell it what to look for?
Oh, I think this one's just picking a random comment. I don't think that one.
Okay, well we'll do it this way then, if that's what it is. Yeah, I guess it is a random one, isn't it? So we'll just do this one and see. Let's see. Get YouTube
Oh, you
comments.
got to put number 4 in there.
Okay.
Got to prove that you're not a robot.
Yeah. This video has comments disabled. No, it doesn't. For crying out loud. Okay, let's I don't know how else to do it here.
Well, Russ had a good idea, except for he's the first person that put it in the chat.
Okay, yeah, to find the hashtags, you got to have the premium thing, and I'm not paying for it.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll have to get the bugs worked out of that one. So my apologies to the participants.
Yeah, Cosman has a good point. The video has no comments. Chats aren't comments. So yeah, good thought.
Oh, so it's
Yeah.
looking in the comment thing. Okay, yeah. So that thing wouldn't work with what I'm trying to do anyway.
No.
Okay, well I'll have to get this this squared away here. I still don't see. It says that that's playing. That the giveaway is playing.
Yeah, no kidding, Kim. he's trying.
Well, okay, let's get this. We're in here. We're in here. I don't know why that thing is not.
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre. No, I don't want to push anything to push buttons to mess it up any further.
Yeah. I just don't know why. Because, see, right here, when I go to start, you know how when you hover the arrow over it, it turns into a little finger?
Yeah.
It's like it's working, but it is not doing squat. And, of course, I don't know what it's supposed to do. I haven't seen it work before, so.
Very strange.
Okay, well, how can we give a call it set away? We need to come up with a question or something.
All right. I got a question.
Okay.
What size is the machine on Dave's left? The Nemo Labs machine, not the $10,000 table. So what? It's the Nemo Labs blankety blank blank. What is that blankety blank blank on the left?
Okay. Tim said maybe we take our pictures out again. So let's try this without sound and see if it works. No, I'm still in there that way. Okay, I guess that's just not happening. I'll have to. Just like Ryan said, you think you got this all figured out because it's a little widget, and I'm like, okay, looks like it should work, but you can't test it unless you're live. So I thought, well, we'll try it and see. But anyway, we'll do two. I get it figured out, and we'll do 2 giveaways next week, I guess.
Sounds good, sir.
But we will do that anyway. Let me see if I forgot anything. If you're interested in learning any more about the NEMA Labs machines that I use here, any of their products, um, I have links down below in the video description. There is a link I just added earlier today, where if you want, because a lot of people are going NEMA Labs. I've never heard of them. Well, if you want to find out their story, there's a link where you can click to it, and it takes you to their web page. Which the way they have their website, it's not like you can find that real easy. I just found it today, but it explains how NEMA Labs came about and what their mission is and all that. So you can learn a little bit about there. Again, if you're interested in picking up something from NEMA Labs, whether it's a machine or a rotary axis or
dust shoe,
whatever, you can get a 10% discount. I have a discount code linked down in the description. And if you go over there and buy one of everything, you'll get 10% off all of it. So it is a pretty good deal. So anyway, I guess we're going to get out of here. I hope I didn't miss any important comments.
No, we were hitting them.
Okay. Well, we'll like I said, I'll get that thing figured out. I got a week to figure it out. Worst case, I'll come up with something on YouTube that or Google or something that does some kind of comment picker thing. And we'll get this. We'll get it figured out and give away 2 of them next week, or 2 of something. We'll do the collets and maybe something else on the other one. All right, so we're going to get out of here. Let me see if I can figure out how to hit the button to get out. That's always a challenge on this new software stuff. So good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging around. And like I said, if you want to do these Halloween things, 99 cents till October 5th. Link down below. And with that, we will see y'all next week. Say good night, Ryan.
Good night, Ryan.